Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullsht. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high-performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. It's been a long weekend. We went down to St. Augustine, Florida this past weekend to watch my son golf. And so grateful to be able to have the flexibility to do that. Just really, really cool. Very grateful for the whole thing. It can also feel like a lot, right? Because I do like my routine, and being kind of uprooted can throw off essentially the rest of my week. But if I have learned anything in motherhood, it's that sometimes you just got to roll with it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you just kind of surrender and roll with it? Because if you're a mom, if you're a dad, parent of any kind, you know that typically your day doesn't go according to your plan. Am I right? You go to bed with the best of intentions. You're like, I'm going to get up early before the kids so that I can just hang out, have some time to myself before I go straight into parent mode, right? Straight into mom mode. And then something happens, right? Either your kid wakes up in the night, or they wake up way earlier than they normally do, and you're like, well, there goes my morning, right? Like straight out the window. And this used to set me off. I used to let this ruin my entire day, and I would be annoyed for the rest of the day if my morning did not start off the way that I wanted it to. But what I found is that most mornings are actually not going to start off the way that I want them to. And to be grateful for the mornings that they do start off that way, or that the day goes that way, but also to be able to navigate when a day doesn't go that way. So this is some of the work that I do with my private clients, where we talk about your ideal day, the perfect day, where if everything went according to your plan, what would that day look like? And then we love that plan, right? And we think that the world should operate on that plan. And the truth is, it doesn't. No one really cares what your plan is, especially not your children. They're like, oh, you thought you were going to sleep in today? That's not happening, right? And so we have this ideal plan. And then I have my clients create what I call is a real life plan, where we take into account some of the chaos that's going to hit us, typically without fail. And when we're able to take that into account, we're much kinder and we have way more patience throughout the day, because we're not stressed about it going that perfect way. We hope it goes that perfect way, but we understand that if it doesn't go that perfect way, we're still able to move the needle forward to our goals, right? And this is the real life plan. And so, for instance, I remember when I was first starting my coaching business, in an ideal world, I wanted at least an hour a day to do my social media content creation, right? Sometimes that hour a day actually got reduced down to 5 minutes in the bathroom alone. Just full disclosure, right? But I still made it work because I wasn't annoyed that the perfect plan didn't go according to my will, right? I was still able to do the things that I wanted to do, even though life was happening. And that was probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned during my Ph.D. program. I talk about this a lot, that the dissertation process during that program was incredibly powerful in my own personal growth. And I didn't realize going into it that that's what it was going to be. And I will never forget my dissertation chair. He said to me, just as we were finishing up our coursework, because I was pregnant with baby number 3 at that time. We were finishing up our coursework, and he said, listen, you've done 2 years of coursework. And now you have 5 years to write a dissertation. You have 7 years total in this program. He said, don't come to me at the end of year 5 because life happened and expect me to give you an extension. Life is going to happen along the way. You've got to figure out how to make this work even when life is happening. And the same can be true with any goal that we set, right? Anything that we decide to go after, life is going to happen. It's going to derail that, or it could derail it. And so you've got to have, yes, I love perfect plans. Perfect plans are beautiful, right? But you've got to have a real life plan where life happens and you're still able to make progress on the thing that you're moving towards. And so how do you do that? Well, you get real honest with yourself. If you were to look at your day and you said, you know what, I decided that I'm going to spend an hour a day learning to invest in real estate. If you were very honest with yourself, where does that time fit in? Or if you said, you know what, I'm going to spend an hour a day learning how to grow my business or learning how to X, Y, and Z, right? Like whatever it is. Where is that time going? Where is it coming from? Where are you putting it in your calendar? Because if you don't put it in your calendar, someone else is going to put something in the calendar for you. And it won't work. It will continue to get kicked down the road. And I've seen this with even my students who are writing their dissertations, right? One of my students, like, every time she starts to get some kind of traction, some crazy thing happens in her life that derails her. Again and again and again and again and again. And part of it is she just hasn't made the dissertation a priority. Truly. It's just not a priority. It's not that there's not time. It's that it's fallen to the bottom of the barrel, and it just is not a priority. And it's okay if something is not a priority. But the beauty of it is when you're honest with yourself, you can say, you know what, this is truly not a priority right now in my life, and that's okay. A priority for me is being able to see my children play. Do their sports, their golf, their soccer, whatever it is, that is a priority for me. And so, yeah, I'm rolling with it this week because Monday and Tuesday were spent on the golf course. And that's great. I love that. I'm not upset with that. I caught myself this morning being a little annoyed because my to-do list was quite long today, but I realized a lot of those things don't even have to get done today. Let me do the top 3 things that need to get done today, and then I'll slowly plug away at the other things, and it will be okay. But I've set myself up for this, that I can go with the flow. So if my kids are homesick, or, you know, there's traffic on the interstate, or whatever it is, right? Like, my whole day is not derailed by something that's totally out of my control. And that's the thing, right? Like, my kids, they're downstairs playing Legos and they are not being quiet about this. Right? But I've taught myself that if it doesn't go minute to minute to minute to minute by like my plan, it's still going to be a great day. But there's a lot of people who shove so much stuff into their day that if they're a minute late because of an accident on the road or because of an extra red light or whatever it is, their whole day goes into a tailspin. Sometimes that happens. You literally have to give yourself buffers throughout the day, right? So a little lower energy today simply because I'm real tired. It was a great weekend. It was also a very busy weekend. And it's quite difficult to sleep in a double bed with your husband when you're used to a king-size bed. So we had like this much space to ourselves. It was not ideal, but it was fine. We'll get over it. Totally fine, right? It was enjoyable. It was quite funny. I was like, we're doing this. We're sleeping in this bed together. This is great. So, nevertheless, my advice for you is if you're finding yourself overwhelmed, do a couple of things. 1, figure out what your priorities are. What is truly important to you? Hint, these are the things that you're annoyed about aren't done at the end of the day. the big things, right? You've got to tackle the big things first. And then 2, get very honest about where those things go first. Put them on your calendar first, okay? My kids' events go on the calendar before my work events go on the calendar. Work can happen when they're not on the soccer field, right? That's important to me, okay? And then if you need help making this work in your own life, I would love to have that conversation with you, because it's so important. You're going to keep kicking it down the road if you don't step up and make some changes. And I don't want that for you. So I'm sending you so much love. I'm not batch creating today. I'm going to do the next episode probably on Thursday or Friday when I have some more energy. Today is Wednesday. So I'm going to do another episode on another day when I have a bit more energy. But I wanted to make sure I came in here and had a conversation with you all. So learning to go with the flow is exactly what motherhood has taught me. And I joke with people that each kid was even clearer that things don't go according to my plan. With each kid, you're like, oh, okay, cool. All right, let's do this. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.